Welcome to the Atomic Impact Podcast. I'm your host, Jason Osborn. And on this podcast, we interview successful business owners for them to share atomic, impactful lessons that they've learned throughout the course of their business and share them with us that we can learn from it as well. As always, this show is sponsored by the LinkedIn Reverse Podcast Method, the new way to close deals that doesn't rely on any of the old traditional methods that everybody hates. We use this method to book 26 qualified leads and sales calls in 10 days without any ad spend, outreach, or endless social media posting. To find out more, direct message me on LinkedIn to have a chat. That's Jason A. Osborn. The link to that will be in the show notes below. But on today's show, our special guest is Bruno Cignacco, and I hope I said that right. I did my best. He's the owner of Human Orientated Enterprise, where he's helping clients find success through training consulting. He's also the author of the book, The Art of Compassionate Business. So Bruno, thanks so much for being on the show today. And I want to ask you a question I always love to start off with, which is this. If you were able to go back in time and start over in your business, knowing what you know now, what would you do differently in the first 12 months?
Very interesting question. First off, I will have a much more extreme customer orientation because when I started in a very basic way, trying to satisfy customer need. This means try to meet customer expectations. But in this competitive market, in this volatile business environment, this is not enough. What I observe over the years of experience as a consultant, as a researcher, is that companies do not have to aim to for satisfying customer needs. They have to exceed customer needs. So I will do differently is to exceed customer need as much as possible, as frequently as possible, trying to delight customer, not only satisfy their needs. And most of the companies in the marketplace, they're only meeting the basic customer need. This is not enough. How you exceed customer need in practice? Delighting them, for example, surprising them, giving them incentives, free gifts, giving them more than they expected. And by doing so, you create a positive imbalance. Customers feel obligated to reciprocate, and they're more prone to become committed, loyal, and they're more prone to leave positive reviews online and recommend your company to other potential customers. So I will, instead of satisfying customer need, I will, from the start, try to delight them, means exceeding customer need, being the outstanding company that is a role model for other companies to emulate.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that. Are there any practical tips, just one or two, that you've used in your business that has helped exceed your client expectations?
Very important tip, personalization. So we have to avoid, as suppliers of services or products, to make standardized offerings, means using the same offering for all customers. Each customer have their own unique needs. So this means that first off, you have to find out what their unique needs are. What are the distinctive needs? How you do this? Engaging in conversation with customer. Understanding how you can add value to sort out the customer problem. So this means that the most important orientation is an attitude of service, not an attitude of selling. Most companies adopt an attitude of selling. Oh, let's try to sell more. Let's try to sell the most expensive product. Let's try to sell the product that bring about the highest commission for our company. This is self-centered. Customers do not want this. What they want is orientation toward them, trying to add value to their life, improving their life, solving problems, relieving their pain. So this means that they feel much more at ease. Because what is customer satisfaction? Making them feel positive emotion in relation to your products and services. And you do only when you know what their pain points are, what their problems are, and how you can improve their lives. When you improve their lives, customers become overt ambassador for your company without you asking them to promote your company. And this is more credible than advertising or any other type of paid promotion. Instead, when you do not satisfy their needs and you make them feel infuriated, angry, regretful, because they have dealt with your company, they will become negative ambassadors. They will leave negative reviews. They will push other customers away. So first off, you have to exchange and have a very interesting conversation with customers in order to understand their unique needs and try to tailor-make an offering that is suitable for this customer and might not be suitable for other customers.
Yeah, I love that. That's really, really a great way to do it. I like what you said. like an attitude of serving as opposed to an attitude of selling. I love that. Really, really powerful. Well, on that whole concept, what's the hardest part that you've dealt with in scaling and growing your business without being salesy and spammy?
Very important. Not only in my case, but any other company's cases, what I observed that the most important point, the most important hindrance is that companies go well until they sell their products or services. So this means until the purchasing moment. But then afterwards, most companies forget about customer. This means that they don't have a post-purchase service where they can support customers, especially when they are doubtful, when they're regretful, when they have some cognitive dissonance, mean that they are not sure this product was the right for them. There you have to get a good customer service team to support customer and take calls when customer call your company and not putting this customer on hold with a very annoying music for minutes and minutes that customer will get more angry and more upset. You should solve the problem after you solve the products or services straightforwardly, without any delay, so that customer can understand that you are there for them, not only when you solve the product, but afterwards. And this is more prone to create what we call in marketing loyalty or commitment ties between the customer and the company. Instead, when you solve the product and customer is happy at that moment, but then you don't have a post-purchase service, customer service to support the customer, and customer feel any negative emotion, this will ruin all your previous work, because you were good during the selling process, but you were not good after selling the product. So this means that, in my view, the most important approach for any company, regardless of the sector, is pre-purchase, purchase process, and post-purchase. Customers should always experience positive emotion, and it's the company's responsibility to prompt customer to experience positive emotion. If the company deliver any negative service, pre-purchase, during purchase, or post-purchase, the company will get shoot on their foot. They are shooting on their foot. Why? Because the idea that this customer will be uncommitted, customer will be regretful, will be in some cases angry with the company, and this will ruin all the previous work. So always bear in mind that customer emotions are the most important guidance about the company's performance. If the customer always experience positive emotion about these companies and products, this customer is more prone to become loyal and committed to the company. If customer has a lot of negative emotion in any stage of the process, pre-purchase, purchase, or post-purchase, this company is prone to receive negative reviews, and this customer is prone to push other potential customer away. So customer emotion are the key for company's performance.
Yeah, that's really, really good. I like how the emphasis around the post-purchase is so strong for you as well, which I think is fantastic. Which, a lot of that comes down, I think, to the relationship you're building with your prospect, and not just having them as another number. Which leads me to my next question: is what's the one thing that you've changed on how you build relationships so that the sales feels easier, not once they've actually become a client, but before they become a client? What's one thing that you've changed to build the relationship so that it becomes easier for them to become a client?
Very interesting question. The most important change that I introduce, and any company can introduce, is that in business, in any exchange with customers, you have two main components. What I call substantive components, means price, quality levels, specification, and so on. And the relational components. This means kindness, support, compassion, generosity. Most companies focus on the technical aspect, the substantive aspect. Will the product be a good quality for this customer? Will it be the right model? Will this be, for example, suitable for this customer? This is important, but it's not enough. To build a long-term relationship with this customer, to build robust relationship with customer, you have to take into account the substantive aspect. As you mentioned clearly, I agree with your view, customer is not a figure in the database to add to your sales. It's a flesh and bone human being with needs, and they have economic needs, emotional needs, mental needs, social needs. If you only address this customer as a person that is buying a product or a service, you are dehumanizing customers. You are dehumanizing. You are considering them as a means to an end. They are a means to your company's goals, to your company's sales, to your company's market share. Instead, when you treat them as individuals with needs, with fears, with in some cases worries, and you try to address not only the technical aspect, quality, price, and so on, but also the emotional aspect. Can you make this customer feel at ease? Can you make this customer feel not regretful, that convinced that they have bought the right product? Can you make them feel supported when they have some doubts? Can you address their doubts, their clarifications that they are asking very straightforwardly? If not, you're only addressing a very tiny part of needs. Customers, like any other stakeholder, have economic needs. They need to buy affordable product with good quality. Emotional needs, they need to be supported, they need to be understood, they need to, in some cases, they have doubt, clarifying these doubts as much as possible. And also, these customers need to feel that they made a purchase that also make them feel socially relevant, important, that they won't be criticized by the family or the friends. This is what we call the social status of the purchasing process. Well, can you make sure that the customer made the right purchase, not only technically speaking, but is suitable for their personality, their needs, their preferences, for their social circle, so that you reduce all these risks and you make this customer experience this positive emotion. And when customer experience positive emotion, you're embedded in the customer mind in a positive way. And when someone asks any advice to this customer, the first company that will come to their mind is your company. Instead, when you are not even satisfying the basic need and customer feel this negative emotion, fury, anger, they are upset, they are regretful, well, this customer will be the first one to say, please do not go to that company. This was a nightmare. And how many customers I hear that they say, this company is a nightmare. Please, I will pay you for you not to go to this company.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. I love how passionate you are about it as well. I think that's I love seeing that. I love seeing that. Well, Bruno, over the next, let's say 2 to 3 years of your business, what are your goals? What are you looking to achieve?
Well, my goals are very simple, and these are the same goals that I have for many years. I have been advising companies for more than 3 decades, and lately on the topic of compassionate business, I have been advising for nearly 6-7 years. My main goal is to help companies and help also customers, both help companies and customers get satisfied regarding their goals, regarding their preferences, regarding their needs. In the case of companies, I want to help companies to become much more humane, much more human-oriented. This means that they can be profitable, they can be successful, they can be a growing company, thriving company, but at the same time, they be this network of relationship with different stakeholders, not only customers, with their own employees, with the community member, with suppliers, that this company bring about a positive brand image, a positive reputation. And this company become not only a successful company from the relational perspective, from the economic perspective, but also becomes a model to be emulated in the sector, as you see many companies. Why? Because having a good reputation, having a good brand image is the best way of promoting. When we have a positive image before all these stakeholders, this is self-promoting. You don't have to make any effort. And this is also the main objective for me, disseminating this idea through consultancy, through training. In some cases, I give talks worldwide, so that companies understand that they cannot get away with a transactional approach. What is a transactional approach? One-off interaction with the customer. I might win and customer might lose. No, we want always win-win interaction. I win, customer wins. I win, employees win. I win, the community wins. I win, the environment wins. So the only way to build sustainable relationship over time is considering the needs of every single party. If the needs of one party is not fully satisfied, this relationship is likely not to thrive. So this is my objective. I keep on aiming for this objective, but also I advise companies on aiming for this objective. Why? Because it's the only way to have sustainable growth. If not, if you focus on win-lose agreements, you might have temporary growth, but this will backfire you. Why? Because then people will understand, okay, they're only for them, and they don't care for my needs. So we have to make sure that any business decision is made in a way that the needs of all parties are fully met.
Yeah, love that. It's amazing what you're looking to achieve with that for sure, Bruno. Well, for people that are looking to find out more about you and get in contact with you, what's the best way for them to do that?
Yes, they can find all this idea that we discussed today in my latest book, The Art of Compassionate Business, published in its second edition, white cover, and it's published by Release. Can be found online or offline, any bookshop. And also they can find me on LinkedIn. They can check. I post a lot of articles and interviews, but also they can find me on my website that is connected to other website, www.brunocignacco.com or humanorientedenterprise.com.
Amazing, amazing. Well, I definitely recommend everyone checking out Bruno. You can see and hear how just inspired he is and passionate about what he's doing. So check out those places. Bruno, thank you so much for being on the show. Again, I just love your enthusiasm on this topic. It's absolutely inspiring. So thank you for being on. And as a reminder for everyone listening, this show is sponsored by the LinkedIn Reverse Podcast Method, the new way to close deals that doesn't rely on any of the old traditional methods that everybody hates. To find out more, direct message me on LinkedIn to have a chat. That's Jason A. Osborn, and the link to that will be in the show notes below. And until next episode, stay inspired.